Hello, everybody, and welcome to the day two this is the day two discussion slash predictions for the PGL major qualifier. So if I sound a little upset, first off, it's because I'm alone. None of my friends are home, so I kind of have to do this alone for a change, which is weird. And then second off, it's because I just recorded a 25-minute video of this exact thing and I realized that my mic was turned off, so I'm an idiot. But yeah, so let's just recap the first. So basically, what I did last time and what I'm gonna do this time, I'm gonna recap the first day, and then um, I'm gonna recap the first day. Then I'm gonna recap the first day bets, and then I'm going to look at the days, look at the day of today's games, and then look at today's games percentages. So yeah. So the first day game of the day was G2 versus Immortals on Inferno. It actually ended up going to double overtime, and G2 ended up closing out. G2 were up 11 to 4 at the half, and Immortals ended up bringing it back. So it was actually a pretty decent game. But no upset there. Optic Penta. This match was really upsetting because I had Optic on two big multi-bets, and Optic was the one team that lost, and it was in a 14-16, so that was a lot of missed profit, but it's alright. Penta 16 to 14 on Train, and it was actually a pretty good game, but I think Optic definitely should have won. Third game of the day was Liquid versus Tyloo. And this was honestly a lot closer than it should have been. Liquid didn't look like they were performing good. Not to underestimate, but not that's not what I'm looking for. Not to like hate on Tyloo or anything, but they weren't looking that good, to be honest. And I just think it was underperformance, not Liquid, not like overperformance by Tyloo. But Liquid did end up closing it out a little closer than expected, but Liquid did end up closing it out. The next game was Godsend versus Dignitas. This was a game that I was pretty confident on, but it was a game I was pretty confident on, but it was a lot closer than expected. But Godsend ended up closing it out. The fifth game of the day was the only blowout in my opinion. It was Mouse Sports versus Tangri, 16 to 1 for Mouse Sports, which was kind of expected. So yeah, Mouse Sports just kind of blew out Tangri. The next game was kind of a really up. It wasn't an upset. It was upsetting to watch. Vegas Squadron was up 10 to 5 at half after losing Pistol, and and Hellraisers converted all three rounds after it. So that means Vegas Squadron only let them get 2 rounds, but then on their T side they didn't get a single round. So they were up 10 to 5 at half and lost 16 to 10. So there was definitely potential there, but they just didn't quite go through with it. The next game of the day was. Is that really Mouse Sports versus? I think I missed one. No, I didn't miss one. And the next game of the day was Flipside versus Renegades, a game that I said Flipside would win, which they did. Renegades had an insane lead against Flipside, but they just started cracking under pressure, and Flipside, with the experience and everything else that they have on LAN, um, they just came through with it. So yeah, it was definitely a good game, but Flipside, it was a little bit closer than I expected. 16 to 10 for Big versus Cloud9. Cloud9 had a 12 to 3 half, and then ended up being 16 to 10. And honestly, this game, I see Big winning this game if Skadoodle doesn't pull off that 1v4 that he did on the CT side. Cloud9 CT side was actually looking pretty booty, and then Skadoodle pulled off a 1v4, and yeah, that kind of spiked up Cloud9 and really shot down Big, and yeah, so that was the end of that. And then so the day two, or actually I should recap my day one. So you can see here, I now have $234 in my balance. I used to have, I think I started off with like 112 or something like that. Um, where are we at? So this is the start. -6 on Immortals. Didn't on the Godsend bet that I went medium on was successful. The small The small Vega Squadron bet, or small to medium Vega Squadron bet, sadly did not upset, but the medium flip side bet that I went on was successful. As you can see here, the two combined bets that I actually showed in the videos came up unsuccessful, all because of optic, dude. So if you can see here, 8 times 6.5 is about a 56, a little more than that, 56 fucking dollar profit right here. That would have been insane. But Optic shut that one down, and this one was a 3.3. This would have been an extra $45. So if Optic would have won that game, this would have been an extra $100 right here. But sadly, Optic did not come through, and a couple of impulse combined bets were the ones that I actually won. So we had Mouse Sports and Liquid, which I was pretty confident would win. So I tried to milk more profit off of the Godsent game by putting 25 on basically just Godsent. I put 25 again on Godsent, but with a higher multiplier because I put the Liquid and Mouse Sports games, like, if that makes sense. Because the Liquid and Mouse Sports games are here, it gave me a whole extra multiplier by 1. So not only did I win the 2 multiplier on Godsent here, I won the 3 multiplier on Godsent here. So that was pretty good. For some stupid reason, I could only bet $4 on this. I put in this multi-bet, and I was going to bet like 10 to 15, but for some reason it only let me bet 4, which was really upsetting. And yeah, so Gambit wasn't one of the games there, but I just saw it, and I was like, I mean, Gambit's insane. There's no way they lose to this team. So yeah, that would have been some nice profit, but as you can see, it did end up paying out extra $15, but and then a game I went $24 on was Flipside Cloud9. That was a 2.66. So honestly, I think multi-bets are going to be the way to go for me. As you can see, that's where I made most of my profit. So on to day 2. Let's see where it says main qualifier round 2 matchups. So the first game is a winners match. The next 4, I believe, are losers matches, and the last 3 are winners matches again. So Liquid versus Penta is a winners match. Liquid versus Penta, and then the next match is Optic versus Vega, which are these next 4 losers matches. Optic Vega, Tyloo Renegades, Big Tangri, Dignitas Immortals, and then the last 3 are winners games: Hellraisers Flipside, G2 Cloud9, Mousesports, and Godsent. So honestly, today's games look a lot better than yesterday's in my opinion, just multiplier wise. So I think this could either be a really, really, really good day or kind of a mediocre like day. You know what I mean? But as you can see here, Liquid has a 1.46 against Penta, and as I said, I don't think that Liquid played to the best of their performance the other day, yet they still managed to pull out a win against Tyloo. So I think that if a good Liquid comes to perform today, then they will pretty much easily beat Penta. And I think that Optic kind of underperformed. So yeah, I don't think that this is potential upset. If you feel differently, you can put a bet on Penta. But I think that this Liquid game right here is going to be really good for multi-bets. So yeah, 2.87 for Vega Squadron here. I think that Vega Squadron are are such a scary team in best of ones because JR, Mur, and Chopper are really insane to me. Their performances alone make you want to bet on them in a best of one, and especially with the 3 multiplier against a team like Optic, who have been looking shaky recently because of the addition of Hazed back into the lineup because Jason R left and stuff like that. I think that this is definitely a potential upset. You have a 1.5 here on Renegades, and this is actually surprising. When I recorded this about 30 minutes ago, it was the exact opposite percentages. So I think that this is more balanced out, and I think that because Renegades doesn't have the higher multiplier now, it's not worth betting on them, but this could be a good match for some multi-bets. Tangri versus Big, this didn't change at all. Tangri just didn't show enough, honestly. Like, Big actually performed really well earlier today against Cloud9, in my opinion, even though the score didn't say so. I think that Big performed decently well. Not necessarily Kiev, but the rest of their star players, or Kiev and Legia didn't play very well, but the rest of their star players turned up, and I think that that's all Big really needs. It's just that Cloud9 I don't know. But yeah, definitely against a team like Tangri, if just two or three of their stars show up, really, it will be such an easy game for them. And with Tangri, they literally showed nothing. They lost 16-1 against Mousesports. They didn't show me anything. But if you have a couple extra bucks or whatever and you want to throw in Tangri, go for it and hope for an upset. Now this match is pretty upsetting to me. This was a 4 multiplier on Dignitas when I did this the first time. And I was like, man, that's insane. But now it's equaled out to about a 50-50. And because of that, I think that an Immortals bet is pretty solid here. But the reason I was saying that the 4 multiplier in Dignitas was way too much is because these teams have such similar playstyles to how explosive they are. They just explode onto bomb sites. They have really sick aimers. Dignitas has like Fox and Tensky and Rubino and Jacob. You know what I mean? Like they just have insane aimers, to be honest. And Immortals are really good in my opinion. So yeah. That being said, it's like I'd favor Immortals here just by a little bit as the percents do. And that being said, Immortals are known to not perform very well at major qualifiers. They have never qualified for a major to this day, yet I think they've been at every single one. So that's pretty sad for them. But hopefully that doesn't continue for them. Hopefully they can go ahead and make this one. But that being said, I think because of the way the percents are now, a small to medium bet on Immortals is a pretty good idea. Here we have Hellraiser versus Flipside, which was actually like this, exactly like the game above. It was a 50-50 when I was on here about 30 minutes ago, but now it's a pretty decent multiplier for Flipside, to be completely honest. These teams have played each other a lot, but it's been a long time since they've played each other. If I'm not mistaken, it's been at least a couple months. And I believe Hellraisers won. Yeah, it's been a couple months and Hellraisers won. But as you can see here, like early 2016, Flipside was the better team. And then when it got into late 2016, Hellraiser started to become a really strong team, and Flipside hasn't won much since. But that being said, Flipside with an amazing comeback, they're probably a little fired up. Hellraisers with really a shocking first half against Vega Squadron. That could shake him or something like that. And with a 2.56, I think that a small bet on Flipside here is definitely acceptable. I mean, that's a pretty small. That's a pretty good upset potential with that kind of multipliers is really good. 3.17 for Cloud9 versus G2, and I'm surprised that this is still the same way. It's a 3.17. Now I know this doesn't sound very smart, but Cloud9 won 16-4 the last time they played, right? Now that being said, you could say, oh, blah blah blah, it was whatever, G2 did play better, whatever, but that still happened. And I know G2 are definitely going to qualify out, and G2 said the first day that the second best team here was Immortals, so the fact that they got them out of the way would mean that they would pretty much blow by the rest of the competition. And I don't think that that's true at all. I think that Cloud9, if Cloud9 performs the way Cloud9 can perform, that G2 is going to run for their money for sure. And a 3.17 is nowhere near what it should be. If anything, it should be more towards this, even less, I'd say. I think that this is a pretty good upset potential for Cloud9. So that being said, small bet on Cloud9. And the last game of the day will be Mousesports versus Godsent, and this is pretty in favor of Mousesports for me. This was a 50-50 when I checked last, but now it's more of a 131 or 1.3 for Mousesports, which kind of balances out, is what it should really be. And that being said, I just don't think, even with the 3 multiplier, I just don't think that Godsent. Actually, I don't know. The thing is, yesterday, there's nothing you can take out of Mousesports' match, right? That says like, oh, they're looking really good, because they were playing such a worse team than Godsent that you can't really compare the two. You know what I mean? So at the moment, Mousesports is looking like the stronger team, and Godsent's looking like a shaky team that almost lost to Dignitas. So I guess you could put in the favor of mouse sports. But if this keeps going up any higher, I think that a small bet on Godsend is definitely acceptable because of the aimers that they have and the fact that they have Pronax. So if that keeps creeping up, you can drop a small bet on Godsend for sure. I think that that's a good idea. So yeah, I guess um, so yeah, give a quick recap. I think probably skip this match altogether. If you feel like Penta, you can go ahead and go Penta, but I'm probably going to skip this match altogether or use Liquid for a couple multi-bets. Vegas Squadron versus Optic, small bet on Vegas Squadron. Renegades versus Tyloo, small to medium bet on Renegades. Um, Actually, no, scratch that. Probably skip altogether, or use it for a multi-bet, which is probably what I'll do. Big Tangri, whatever you, I mean, if you really want to drop a couple bucks on Tangri, go for it. Immortals versus Dignitas, small to medium bet on Immortals. Flipside Hellraisers, small bet on Flipside. Cloud9 G2, small bet on Cloud9. And Mao's Godsend, maybe small bet on Godsend, depending on if I'm up quite a bit of cash, and since it's the last game of the day, I might drop a couple bucks on Godsend and try to hope for their upset. Um, so yeah, that is day 2 done and dusted. I will be uploading another video later tonight with the actual, see, whoa, see, like, this thing just swung so much. That's why I don't put my actual bets in until like an hour or two before, because as you can see here, like, now Renegades has a 2 multiplier, which is insane. Honestly, I think that a small to medium bet on Renegades there is definitely huge upset potential. So like, if just watch it, don't bet too early, you know what I mean? So yeah, just watch out for percentages and stuff like that. So yeah, that is day 2. I will be uploading like a smaller, like 7-minute video like I did yesterday of my actual bets like an hour or a half an hour before the games start. So that way the percentages are set in and stuff like that. So thank you guys very much for watching. Bye bye.